You know, we spend so much of our lives trying to optimize everything. Our careers, our workout routines, our investment portfolios. But what if I told you the single biggest investment you'll ever make, the one with the highest possible return, is something most of us just leave up to chance? Today, we are going to reframe partnership, not as just romance, but as the most critical, high-stakes strategic decision of your entire life.
And look, this isn't just some fluffy, sentimental idea. This comes from Warren Buffett, arguably the most successful investor in modern history. When a guy who has absolutely mastered the power of compounding value tells you where the real leverage in life is, you should probably listen. He wasn't just talking about love, he was talking about the trajectory of your entire life.
So for a mind like Buffett's, this isn't about finding a soulmate from a storybook. It's about having crystal clear strategic vision. It's about recognizing that the person you choose to build a life with becomes the single most powerful force for either compounding your potential or for depreciating it. They can accelerate your growth or they can anchor you down.
Okay, so if this is the most important investment we'll ever make, what does a great one actually look like in the real world? What does it mean for a partnership to compound? When does that simple 1 + 1 equation suddenly equal 100? Well, let's take a look at some powerful examples.
These pairs, they come from totally different worlds. Art, business, literature, but they all show us a fundamental truth. The right partnership isn't just additive, it's multiplicative. It's a force multiplier that unlocks a level of potential that neither person could have ever reached on their own.
Take George the poet and his wife Sandra, who's also the head of operations for his company. They're not just, supporting each other. They are a perfectly integrated system. He has this incredible creative vision, and her operational genius is what enables it, protects it, and brings it to life.
Or think about Oprah and Stedman. For 40 years, they've rejected the traditional script of marriage because they knew it just wouldn't fit their massive ambitions. So instead, they designed what they call a spiritual partnership, and that custom-built foundation gave Oprah the exact kind of stability and support she needed to build a global empire.
So, here's the key takeaway from all of this. These powerhouse partnerships, they're not about two people being identical or checking off boxes on a list. They are built on something much deeper, a fundamental alignment of core values and a truly shared vision for where they're going together. Now, this all sounds amazing, right? It's the ideal we're all hoping for. Which brings us to a really important question. If this is the goal, why does the modern search for a partner feel so incredibly broken, so frustrating, and, frankly, so far from this ideal?
Well, a huge piece of the puzzle is the main tool that almost everyone is using. We've all been handed these dating apps that are, at their core, engineered for consumption. They're designed for endless scrolling and browsing, not for the slow, intentional, and sometimes difficult work of building a real connection.
It's like we're living in two different worlds. On one side, you have the strategic partnership model. The focus is on depth, the value is in alignment, and the outcome is compounding value over a lifetime. Then you have the app trap. Here, the focus is on breadth, how many people you can see. The value is on appearance, and the outcome? A constant stream of disposable connections. They are two completely different games.
But look, this isn't just a hunch or a feeling that things are off. The cost of being stuck in this app trap is real, it's measurable, and it's serious. So let's dive into the data and see what the hidden consequences of this system really are.
I mean, study after study has linked heavy dating app use to a whole cascade of negative outcomes. We're talking about significantly higher rates of psychological distress, anxiety, and depression. The very design of these apps can foster a deep fear of being single, while at the same time creating this paralyzing choice overload that makes it almost impossible to actually choose anyone. And here is the really tough pill to swallow. This isn't an accident. It's not a bug in the system. It's a feature. The business model for most of these apps works best when you stay single and keep swiping. They literally profit from your continued search, not from you finding someone and deleting the app for good.
So let's quantify the flip side. What's the financial upside of getting this decision right? What's this number? $4,000? Well, according to some fascinating research from Washington University, that's the average annual salary boost an employee gets just from having a conscientious spouse. That's right, your partner's character literally has a direct financial return. And that effect scales up dramatically over time. When you look at the big picture, married people, on average, earn 26% more income and hold 35% more net worth than their single counterparts. This isn't a coincidence. This is the real, tangible economic power of a strategic partnership at work.
All right, so if the app trap is the problem, what's the solution? How do we actually escape this cycle and get on that path to compounding value?
Well, the good news is there's a playbook. It's the mindset that high achievers use, and it's a set of principles that anyone can adopt right now.
It really boils down to these 4 core ideas. First, invest actual resources, your time, your energy, your focus. Treat this search with the same seriousness you would a massive career decision. Second, prioritize depth over breadth. You're looking for one life partner, not 100 pen pals. Third, you have to reject the need for speed. Real compatibility takes time to reveal itself. You won't find it in 3 photos and a clever bio. And finally, number 4, you have to ask the questions that truly matter.
And these are the kinds of questions that the apps are just not designed to answer. Who is the person who will stand with you in the trenches when life gets hard? Who can you truly count on in a real crisis? Who doesn't just accept you but actually inspires you to be better? And maybe most importantly, who will be there for all the quiet, boring, tedious Tuesdays that make up the vast majority of a life together? That's what you're really screening for.
Ultimately, it all comes down to this one simple idea. We live in a world that promotes disposable connections, so choosing to go deep, to be intentional, is a truly radical act. And in this environment, depth becomes your single greatest competitive advantage in finding a partnership that doesn't just survive, but one that genuinely compounds and thrives.
So I want to leave you with this final question to think about. In this age of seemingly endless options, we're constantly told that freedom and keeping our options open is the ultimate prize. But what the most successful people understand in life and in love is that the greatest value isn't created by swiping forever. It's created by choosing wisely and then committing fully. So what are you truly committed to building?